back here?
Home. Isn't it marvellous? Welcome on the mat.
Well, the door's not been shut behind you 5 minutes.
You said you want to be home early for dinner.
Early?
Yeah, well, I started up on Argyle Street, you know. I didn't know how long it would take there.
You can't have done more than one house.
It's taken all morning to get there and get back here.
Oh, for goodness sake, Stanley.
What are you going to do to make them happy?
I'm not standing between a man and his wife, Stanley.
Well, I'm not needed here, I can see that.
Well, look, you can make yourselves a pot of tea and some jam butties or something. I've not been able to go shopping yet or anything.
That do you?
Cup of tea's all right by me.
Right.
I hope we didn't ask you in for some dinner.
No, we just dropped into conversation about not having the price of a pint between us, you know what I mean? You'll be all right, won't you, with your fortune selling?
Oh, I'm not going to make no profit out of that. No, just a small contribution towards the refreshments, that's all. I mean, the gift's not given to them who seek to profit by it.
You want your head testing, Mrs. O. It's a guaranteed meal ticket, like a doctor. I mean, you see, they've got the gift of healing. If you've got a gift, you ought to use it for the good of the most number of people, just like a doctor. So there's nothing wrong with doing it for money.
Well, I won't say you're wrong, Eddie, but needs a lot of thought.
No jam. Marmalade do?
Smashing.
Well, use your eyes, Stan. There's jam in the bottom cupboard.
Jam it is.
Very deep thought. Well, mind you, you've said some very wise words, I know.
Well, best shape, Mrs. Walker. Well, that first of them in no time.
What am I to do, Fred? Silly woman's gone off. What am I to do?
Well, first thing's obvious, innit? Mrs. Sharples.
I want my money back on them.
Right.
Good morning, Mrs. Sharples.
And I credited you with more sense, Honey Walker.
I see. Then can I say, before you go on, valuable as your comments sometimes are, if you'll mind your business, then I'll mind mine.
Thank you, Mrs. Sharples. Right, I'll get down and finish off in selling, Mrs. Walker.
Right, well, if you're trying to be diplomatic, you needn't bother, because I'm not stopping to stay out.
I'm going whether you're stopping or not, Mrs. Sharples.
Not my place to stay out. Besides, what's never said never needs mending. But I don't need to tell you that, do I? Because you've a lot of mending to do. If I were you, I'd take a walk down to see Betty Turpin.
I don't need telling anything by you, Mrs. Sharples, because you know nothing about it, so if you don't mind...
But I do mind. When I see a woman that I've known for years, as honest as the day's long, and a policeman's widow, too, called a thief all over town, of course I mind.
This is a matter strictly between Mrs. Turpin and myself. But for your information, I never called her a thief.
Did you not?
No, I didn't. And when you say it's all over Weatherfield, well, that's just absolutely absurd.
Is it? Well, it's got as far as the laughing donkey. And the tale there gets to be slightly different. Such as, I've had to sack the barmaid because she's dipping into the till.
Who said that?
It's common talk.
Mrs. Sharples, I want to know, who did you hear that from?
I don't think that matters. It's who did they hear it from?
Now, if you know, you tell me. Who did they hear it from?
You.
Don't be ridiculous.
Then what did you say to Nellie Harvey? Tell me that. Because that's where they got it from. Can you deny it? You want to get back on the telephone to your friend. Unless you go and grovel to Betty Turpin first.
Nice morning.
Yes.
Well, I mustn't mind, must I, Derek? She's my family's.
As long as you make sure you can still, you know, lead your own life.
Well, I can't. I can't just do as I like. Be realistic about it.
There's no reason why you shouldn't get out. In fact, there's every reason you should.
Oh, it's easier said than done, Derek.
People get babysitters.
She's not a baby.
You know what I mean. You can get someone to come in.
Who?
Well, just someone to keep her company.
There's more to it, Derek. I mean, it's a very different thing with a sick old lady, especially if she has one of her turns.
If she decides to have one of her turns, you mean? There's a lot of that in
Oh,
it.
now, that's not entirely fair. I mean, she is frail. Even the doctor agrees with that.
She's been frail for years. She's still here.
Yes, and I'm still here. Just when I got used to the idea of having a life of my own. Do you know, sometimes I think people are destined.
I don't believe that.
Well, I do. I know. I mean, well, I know this much. If you've got no place of your own, then you've got no life of your own.
No, it just takes more... You've got to make more of an effort, that's all.
But the only effort I've got to make is just to stop feeling sorry for myself. It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm here and I've got to stay here, and that's that.
No, listen, Mary, I've just got a piece of advice.
No,
One
don't
piece.
go
No,
on,
I'm only...
please, Derek. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
No, I am.
I didn't realise we had company.
Oh, Yes, I'm here again, Mrs.
So I see.
Can I give you a hand?
Look, I thought you weren't supposed to come down those stairs on your own.
Well, there was nobody to give me any assistance, was there?
Well, I didn't hear you call or anything.
I can't very well shout, can I? And if you're busy talking, there's nobody to hear, is there?
Well, come and sit yourself down.
Oh, it's 3 of us eating, is it?
Yes, Mavis did invite me to stop, Mrs. I hope you don't mind.
It's not for me to mind, is it? But you'll realise when you're old and not so well, your house isn't your own. Not that I mind. I'm past minding. What have you made?
Oh, just macaroni cheese.
Oh, that's very nice. Bit indigestible, though, isn't it? Cheese. Like those bananas.
Well, would you like me to make you something else?
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to be any trouble to you. And I'm sure this young man likes macaroni cheese, don't you?
Oh, I don't mind at all.
We'll have to get used to eating what he likes. Still, perhaps it wouldn't be too much... just a boiled egg wouldn't be too much trouble for you, would it? It's the last thing I want to be is trouble.
Anything else, love?
No, just a slice loaf, love, please.
Right.
Are you going to order little do tonight, by any chance?
What do?
Have you heard? She's having a séance. Ever since she read them tea leaves, it's gone straight to her head.
Oh, that one. I don't see how I can. But I'm not too struck on all that kind of thing.
Oh, why not be good for a laugh at least?
Well, there you are, you see. I mean, that's the wrong attitude. If there is something in it, I mean, it's not to be taken lightly, you know.
Why not? Don't you think they've got a sense of humour over on the other side?
I must say I side with Elizabeth. If there are those in the spirit world who have something to communicate, you'd think they'd choose somebody better than Mrs. Ogden.
I never said there was anything wrong with Mrs. Ogden.
Well, hardly a spiritual person.
She's never done me any harm.
Yeah, well, I'll see you, kid.
Right, try her, Elsie.
I was wondering if you'd heard. I suppose you have.
What?
Well, I had a visit from the police.
Oh.
They have arrested one of the decorators from the brewery. It seems he's been stealing all over the place, including the Rovers.
It's of no great interest to me, Mrs. Walker.
I can't remember which one it was. Can't even remember what he looked like.
Is that all the news? Because, I mean, I have got things to do, you know.
Elizabeth, you must not go on under the misapprehension.
I'm under no misapprehension, Mrs. Walker. None at all.
You are, if you continue to think that I harboured any suspicion about you.
You harboured nothing. You said it straight to my face.
Now did I?
Well, you did in so many words. Well, nearly.
Never.
Look, I can't see any point in this at all.
Elizabeth, what I did do that was wrong, very wrong and very silly, was to give you that impression when it was the last thing I wanted to convey. And for that I want to apologise, deeply and sincerely.
Well, makes everything all right then, doesn't it?
I know that an apology is inadequate, but I do trust that mine will be accepted.
Yes, we can say that, Mrs. Walker. I just want it over and done with.
Well, I'm glad, because that means we feel the same way. Let it all be dead and buried.
No, just done with.
I'd like that, Elizabeth. Oh, I'm sorry. Do serve this lady.
Yes, love.
Have you got a raspberry jelly?
Yes, I have.
But, Elizabeth, I do think if you could call in, we could perhaps clear the air over a sherry.
I'd just sooner leave it where it is, Mrs. Walker. There's some in the back, love. I'll get you one.
Hello, Ethel. Love, it's you, is it?
Hello, Edie, love. How are you? You feeling any better? I brought you a cake. Tuppence off. Now then, have you got everything you want? Them pillows don't look so good. Now let me make you more comfortable.
I'm a bit lopsided.
You've met a young man then?
Derek. Derek, his name is.
Think much of him?
Well, I wasn't very much impressed. Seems a bit soft to me.
I wasn't impressed myself. When are they going to name the day?
I didn't know they were going to.
Oh, mark my words, Auntie Edie.
She never said nothing about it.
Oh, well, she wouldn't, would she? She wouldn't want to upset you.
Never said a word. But you're right. I'd be lost to know.
Well, if they do, you know what I mean? Well, you'll be left all on your own, won't you? Unless he moves in with her. Both of them, you know. Well, it might be better, really. You've dropped your wool.
Nobody's moving into this house until I'm dead and gone. And I'm in no hurry. Whatever you all think. No hurry at all.
Now then, just draw your chairs evenly up round the table. That's right.
Oh, there's nowhere to put my knees.
Well, as long as you can lay your hands on the table, it doesn't matter.
What do we do now?
I'll tell you what you do. First thing, empty your mind.
Oh, not a big job.
Now, Luke, either you're serious about this or you're not. If you're
Oh,
not...
I'm sorry.
You see, your minds is full of day-to-day clutter. You'll get nothing through that. It's like when you get interference on the radio. So, you switch off, right?
Right.
Now, I'm like a radio what can tune in, but only in certain circumstances. I don't think it's easy, because if anybody's got a septic attitude, it sort of puts up an obstacle like. Now then, hands on the table. Very lightly, just touching. Just fingertip. Oh, no, don't hold her hand, Chuck.
Well, I'm frightened. What if somebody comes?
Well, it's quite natural to be frightened, but really there's no need. Now then, just touching. Right. Is there anybody there? Is there anybody there wishes to speak to anybody here? Give a sign.
Who's that?
Stan going to the cars, we'll have to wait. Right, join hands. Start together.
Don't you climb down, love.
Well, she came round here to apologise on her own.
Oh, very big of her.
She told me she never said what I heard her say.
I never said.
Well, I know Annie. She'll convince herself she never did, neither. And she'll absolutely believe it. Anyway, as long as she don't convince you.
Oh, she probably will in the long run.
You know, you'd want more than a flaming apology if you took it to law.
Well, I'm not doing that, am I?
No, I'm just saying if she'd said it publicly, you'd have her caned in court good and proper.
Oh.
Aye.
Hi, Fred.
Coming back to us then, are you?
Oh, what?
Well, I understand you made it up with Mrs. Walker.
I made nothing up.
Oh, sorry. I just got the impression from Mrs. Walker that, well,
Oh, did you?
you know, you'd linked your little fingers and that.
See? She thinks she's gone away already, vanished.
She lives in a world of her own, does that woman.
Is she in a trance? Shh.
Of course, she's a grown woman. And she can do as she likes, of course, but... She goes away with him, you know.
She goes away where with him?
Well, how should I know where? She wouldn't tell me that, would she? But she goes away at weekends.
Didn't go nowhere last weekend.
Oh, well, perhaps not every weekend, but... well, you can see what's on the cards, and if it isn't, well, she's being a fool for herself.
I can't say anything, can I? But I know what her mother'd say.
Well, her mother isn't here to say it, is she? But you know our Mavis. Well, she always needed a guiding hand, our Mavis.
There'll be no shenanigans under my roof. I'll not stand for that, even if I am an invalid.
Oh, well, I'm sure she'd never dream.
We wish to speak to someone on the other side. Is there anybody there on the other side? Hey? We wish to communicate with someone on the other side.
What are you going to ask?
Ask for a name. What is your name on the other side? What'd she say? I didn't catch. What is your name?
Arthur.
Arthur. She said Arthur. He said Arthur.
It can't be Arthur.
Why not? Is your name Arthur?
I don't think it can be.
to what's passed on.
We don't know any book writers round here.
You can get anything. Red Indians or anything. Elsie, ask a question.
You ask it.
Well, has nobody got a question to ask?
My name is Arafah. You have disturbed me. Why? You are not earnest in your heart. Nobody here wishes to speak to you.
Not even me mum.
Who did that?
It wasn't me.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Hilda, put light on.
Hilda, come on, Hilda.
Come on, Hilda, love, snap out of
Hilda,
it.
don't look about.
She is in a flaming trance.
Hey, I've heard it can be dangerous.
Pinch her, Elsie.
What have you put a light on for? It's broad daylight out here.
Oh, what happened? Anything?
I think we got told off. I think we just had us leg pulled. Didn't we, Hilda?
What happened to my table?
Do you really not know?
Oh, no, my arm hurts.
Yeah, well, I had to pinch you to bring you round, like.
Oh, so very much.
Table went down with a right crash.
It jerked right up first.
Well, I wouldn't swear it jerked right up.
Somebody kicked the table leg, that's what happened.
Well, I didn't, and I just hope it was one of you lot.
Oh, I feel all drained. Did you get any message from the other side?
Well, I got a message, I think.
What?
Well, in fact, I think we all got a message. Either it's a load of hooey, or it's something that you don't mess around with.
Well, I felt something spooky. Felt it in the atmosphere.
You feel something spooky now, louder.
Well, it's definitely time for a cup of tea. Definitely.
Hey, come on, Hilda. Tell us. You didn't know what was going on all the time, didn't you?
Look, if I'd known you was pinching me like that, I'd have give you a belt.
Yeah, I reckon you would. Still, I'm not convinced.
Where's your young man, then?
I do wish you wouldn't keep calling him my young man. It's just Derek. You can call him Derek.
I've lost my sense of smell, you know. What kind of soup is it?
Celery.
I thought for a minute it was mushrooms. I can't abide mushrooms.
Well, it isn't. It's celery.
Not in any shape or form. Mushrooms. I've only to think of a mushroom and I'm bilious.
Well, then don't think of it. Just drink your soup.
Where did you say your young man was?
Well, I don't know. He's got his own life to lead. I don't keep tabs on him every minute.
You don't want to be so casual in your relationships with men, you know.
But it's not casual. It's just that sometimes I see him and sometimes I don't.
He's not already married, is he?
Of course he's not married.
I've heard all about these. Sometimes I see him and sometimes I don't arrangements. And more often than not, he's married.
Well, Derek isn't.
Oh, not for your sake have you been going weekends with him.
Who's been telling you that?
Now, I'm only speaking for your own good.
It's Ethel, isn't it?
She never said anything ill about you.
Oh, no, you can tell that. She's my best friend, is Ethel.
Well, what would your mother say, going away with a man?
Look, Auntie Edie, I don't have to put up with this. Not from you, not from Ethel, not from anybody. Anyway, it's not true.
You mean you've not been away with him?
I won't be questioned, Auntie Edie.
Well, all I can say
Look,
is...
you're letting your soup go
if he'd any respect for you, he wouldn't want you to go away with him. And not until you were man and wife.
Has it ever struck you that I might not want to be married to him? He's a friend. I can have friends.
Then he's one of your friends that I never want to see in this house again.
You can't mean that. Derek's been very good running me round errands for you.
Oh, yes, he's very nice. That's how they are, these men. That's how they take advantage. You've very little experience, Mavis. And it's you I'm thinking of. And something tells me he's married.
Oh, what's the use?
Well, I think it's something you're very foolish to go dabbling in.
Well, I don't think Hilda's up to it that much as a medium.
Does that make it any different? You'll be conjuring up all Nick, and then where will you be?
No, we've not been at the Dennis Sweetleys or anything. It's not black magic are out.
Well, you don't know what you're messing with.
Hey, it was funny, though. Hilda really did go into a trance. Or at least I think she did.
Well, maybe she thinks she did and all. 60p, lovey.
Do you know when that table collapsed, little Gail nearly hit the ceiling?
Oh, I say.
Hope it frightened the life out of her.
Oh, it has. Definitely.
You know, if you want to go in for this sort of business, you want to go to a proper spiritualist church. Yeah. Hilda Ogden.
She were very good with tea leaves after.
Oh. Well, that's not the same thing.
Well, she told Elsie she's going to be a divorcee again.
Well, that's an earth-shattering prediction. An earth-shattering...
Oh, dear. She's a good one.
Yeah.
She's taking a right swing at Annie Walker this morning. On your behalf, that one.
What's she?
Giving her what for, I'll tell you.
Ah. What was she saying?
That she ought to come grovelling down here to you. That's what she said.
Well, she didn't exactly do that. She did give the idea that she was apologising because I've been stupid, if you see what I mean.
I know the way she does it, don't I? You can get on the phone, says Ina, and tell your friends and all.
Tell them what? Tell her friends what?
That she's been a complete fool, I suppose.
Just a minute. If she's telling her friends about me, I want to know. I mean, if she's saying bad things about me, I'm not going to let it rest at that.
Well, I don't know what she said, kid.
Well, who was she talking to?
Sounded like it was Nellie Harvey.
Oh, she said anything to my disadvantage.
Well, you can find out, can't you?
How?
Pick the phone up. She's looking for a barmaid.
Oh.
Apply for it. Now, when she hears your experience, she's got to be interested. See if she's still interested when she hears your name.
I might just do that.
Yes. Yes. Oh, any time you like. Yes. Oh, good. All right, I'll see you then. Auntie Edie, I just felt I should tell you that I've invited Derek to come round this evening and watch television. Now, you may feel that you must ask him to leave, and of course you're quite entitled to do so, but if you insist, I'm sure he'll leave at once, and so will I. Now, if you think that Cousin Ethel's going to come round and look after you, then you're very much mistaken, because she won't. And you know what that'll mean. But if I can't live here and live my own life at the same time, then obviously I've got to go. And you'll have to go into a home. So, it's up to you. Now, is there anything you want?
Give me my inhaler.
I often think that they must think we're very impatient, wanting to get across to eternity when our whole life here is no more.
Will eternity seem long, do you think?
Elizabeth, dear, let me say...
I'll let you say nothing, Mrs. Walker. If you'd have said not to start with, you'd have been much wiser.
Elizabeth, we've been through...
We've been nowhere yet, but I'll tell you where we are going. We're going to court. Oh, yes. Tomorrow, I am going to my solicitor, and I am suing you for defamation of character. So, Mrs. Walker, you can put your best sherry where the monkey puts his nuts. Now, do I make myself clear?